This winter was all about pushing limits, chasing snow, and showing up every single weekend. Since January, I lined up at the start gate race after race through whiteouts, bluebird days, icy mornings, and powder-packed tracks. Each course brought something different, a new challenge, a fresh lesson, a moment to dig deeper. From the first whistle in January to the final sprint of the season, it wasn't just about racing. It was about the grind, the growth, and the love of the sport. Every weekend, I gave it my all. Every weekend, I came back for more. Here's a look back at every race, every climb, every finish line. This is my winter on skis. The season started off at Wikipel, an hour drive outside of Oslo. The race was 25 kilometers, and I was ready to go all in and see if I had the strength to double pole all the climbs without any troubles. Full gas from the start, and as I got more and more tired during the race, I had to go into fishbone technique in the climbs and was later accused of skating.
Jeg skøyter ikke. Jeg gjør ikke det.
I was overall happy with my performance, but I knew that to avoid awkward situations later in the season, I needed to build up more strength. After a short week of training, it was now time for the first highlight of the season. I jumped on a plane to Italy and made it to Cavallese, where I would attend my first Marcialonga.
If somebody would have told me like maybe 3 or 4 years ago that I would travel to the Alps and not to go ski touring or ski powder, but to actually go cross-country skiing, I would probably laugh in your face and slap you silly, but here we are.
Met up with Marcialonga the day before, got my skis properly prepared, and I was ready to send it in the rain. After a hectic start, where I had to do some creative maneuvering to gain some positions, I could eventually start to push towards Canasai, where we will turn and start to descend back down to Cavallese and the finishing Cascada climb. As I approached the climb, I met Lars and the Marcialonga crew at the bottom, who was prepared to put grip backs on my skis.
Har du cola? Stake.
I passed on the option and decided to try and double pole up the climb instead.
Let's go. You got this. It's not far.
Instant regret.
Oh, fuck.
I made it up eventually, and as tired as I was, I knew this was a race I would be coming back to. Nothing beats the vibes and the atmosphere that Marcialonga brings. This was something unique. The training continued back home as I was preparing for back-to-back races. Racing again this weekend, stone mountain course, 42 Ks. It's a lot of climbing, a lot of elevation gain. 5 minutes to start. Except from a few mishaps during the race, is that I managed to fall 2 times today, and then just before the finish line here there's like a U-turn, and then it's on the finishing straight, and I managed to actually fall there as well, and then I broke my pole. I was again overall happy with my performance as I set a new PB from last year. Now it was all about trying to recover, because the next day I would line up on the start line for Marcialonga ski marathon in Sweden. New day, new opportunities, more suffering. Yeah, more suffering. And I'm gonna lay out my skis, and then we're starting in 30 minutes or something. And then we'll just see how the body responds and if there's any power left, but just gotta do my best, I suppose. Alright, here we are on the start line. Marcialonga ski marathon, day 2, starting at 5, 42 Ks. Let's do this. Unfortunately, after only a few kilometers, I noticed that the body had not recovered enough from the race the day before. I have no power today. It's just nothing is responding. It's gonna be more of a hard training ride, I'm afraid. As this course was a loop of 21 kilometers that we would do twice, I decided to abandon after the first loop. Hej Ivar! Jag måste... Inget som fungerar idag. Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. Yeah, I just... there was no point in continuing on, because it just... skis were pretty bad and the body was completely dead, so that's how it is. As I sat and watched my two friends Jens and Erik cross the finish line with strong performances, my focus had already shifted to the next big highlight of the season, the Grenadier race. 90 kilometers in Nordmarka, almost 2,000 meters of elevation gain, and one of the most epic races on the calendar. Starting in 1 minute, 2 minutes. Because of the length and elevation gain of the race, I decided to go for grip wax. But on the first climb of the day, I quickly realized that I had no grip whatsoever, and from that moment on, I knew double poling was the only way. Ten kilometers into the race, the pole basket on my right pole was suddenly gone. I did my best out of the situation and hoped that they would have a spare at the first food station of the day, the chicken cabin, after a little over 20 kilometers. As luck would have it, they had a spare, and now the race was on. Oh my god!
I'm freaking saved! I'm saved! Holy shit, okay!
After I got a new pole basket, I could finally start to push again, as the pace had gone down drastically since it disappeared. I now started to regain some of the position that I lost in the beginning. I just felt stronger and stronger during the day. I made it to the finish line with a time of 6 hours and 20 minutes. I was very satisfied with my performance, considering how tough the course is and that I lost the pole basket in the beginning. I felt really strong and I was really hyped for what is always the biggest goal of the season, Vasaloppet. But there was one more important race I needed to attempt.
So I made an impulse decision last week to sign myself up for Vasaloppet 45 and try and seed myself up to Group 2.
I got to borrow some insane rockets from Lars at Marcialonga, lined up as much in front as I possibly could, and decided to go absolutely all in the next 45 kilometers. It was full gas from the start, and I tried to stay on the back of the skis of other people as long as possible to keep up the momentum. I crossed the finish line in the end as number 24 in total and with a time of 2 hours and 24 minutes. The hardest I'd ever raced, but something that would pay off big time. I'm about to deliver the skis I borrowed yesterday back to Lars and Marcialonga. And I went into Vasaloppet's website and went into their seating tables just for fun and to see what my performance yesterday would bring me in terms of seating. And it turns out that I'm actually in start group 2, which is quite insane actually. I'm super happy, of course. I didn't expect it at all, but I made it into start group 2 with a margin of 3 minutes or something. So that was quite a nice surprise, I have to say. I was now as prepared for Vasaloppet as I ever could be. On the first Sunday of March every year, around 16,000 people line up on the start line in Sälen to try and reach the finish line in Mora after skiing 90 kilometers in the footsteps of our fathers. For some people, it's just about getting to the finish line, whilst for others, it's about getting there as fast as possible. 2025 was my 6th appearance in the race, and it's been quite a journey so far.
You know, back in 2020, this is where I started. I'm probably not even here where I'm standing right now because this is middle of group 10. I was pretty much jammed all the way in the back against the trees there. And ever since, taking step by step, and we've been moving on up.
To make sure I got a good starting position this year, I got up early and got in line outside of group 2 and placed my skis well in the front.
So I went back to the car, slept for an hour, and now it's go time. All the way in the front. I'm always nervous when I'm here, but I think today I'm a little bit more than usual. We're starting in 10 minutes. I give my very best. I'll see you at the finish line. Time? Yeah.
I made up the climb quite easy and I felt pretty good, but because of the coarse grind I'd chosen for my skis that day, they did not glide well at all during the first 20 kilometers.
As you can see, I don't have any glide. It's sandpaper. I can't keep up with anybody. There's no way. I don't know what's going on. What I'm gonna do now.
It was difficult mentally being passed by so many in the beginning, but after a second food station at Munksbodarna, the sun started to warm up the snow and my skis finally started to work. Big relief. I could finally take advantage of all the racing and training I put down earlier in the winter and really start to push for Mora. Going over the finish line, knowing that I'd given it my all and with a new personal best was a truly amazing feeling.
Was it the first time?
Made it to Mora with the time of 5 hours and 22 minutes. 21:56 to be more precise. Quite relieved now, so feels like some weight just came off my shoulders. As pathetic as that sounds. Okay, so that's it. Vasaloppet 2025. Super happy. I got the results from all the training, from all the races, so I can now rest easy and do something else. I don't know yet. We'll see.
This was supposed to be the end. No more racing and no more cross-country skiing for the season. Usually I'm done here and then I head for the mountains instead. This year was different. I still had more motivation left and there was this one race that had been lingering in the back of my head for a good part of the winter.
But there is one race that is actually tempting, but I'm not gonna say which one because if I say it then I might have to do it, but if I'm gonna do it you'll find out soon enough. But that race, it's not something you just sign up for on a whim, to put it that way.
The race in question would be in the end of March, and if successful, it would be the perfect way to end the season. 2 weeks after Vasaloppet, I was standing on the start line of the Birkebeiner race for the first time. A race I've avoided because of its brutal climbs, but this would be a good way to keep up with the motivation and prepare for what's to come in the end of the month.
Here we are, starting in 10 minutes.
The start of the Birkebeiner race was as brutal as I thought it would be.
18 k's in. I guess you're up on the mountain now. This is insane. This is so freaking brutal so far.
I knew double poling the race was a risk, but it would be the ultimate test for my strength and form.
Jag märker. Ja, kör på då, kör på så.
Lots of climbing, but also lots of descending. I made it down to the Wikipel Stadium in 3 hours and 49 minutes and just made it the Beacon brand.
Holy shit, huh? Holy shit. That was a lot of things. A lot of things, a lot of the time at once. I don't know what to say really. Yeah. I don't know.
This was what I needed for the grand crescendo of the season. Once again, I jumped on a plane, but this time to the north of Sweden and a place called Luleå. Here I met up with Timmy, and together we drove to Jokkmokk to attend Nordenskiöldsloppet, the longest ski race in the world, 230 kilometers from Jokkmokk to Njalve and back.
On my way to the start line, and I'm a bit late, or not late, but not in as good of time I would like to be. You can hear the distance over there. On the start line, starting in 2 minutes.
Of all the start lines I stood on so far this season, this was the most intense one. I was going into something completely unknown, and I had no idea how my body would hold up or react to such a long distance. Once underway, I soon got into a good flow and I felt good. Kept a steady pace, tried to fuel as often as I could, and just took kilometer by kilometer and tried not to think about the distance in itself.
We are officially halfway. Feel pretty good still, amazingly. Everything went really good the first 85, and then everything kind of changed after that because the sun started to affect the snow really badly, and the terrain changed with more narrow forest tracks, and suddenly the wind started to pick up as well, so kind of it was everything all at once really. So the last 25 k's really was a battle, but yeah, with the headwind as well, obviously. But now we got tailwind, and we're going back home. So yeah, hopefully we're just gonna continue with the good vibes, and I'll get back home eventually today.
After 230 kilometers and 17 hours of non-stop skiing, I finally made it back to Jokkmokk and crossed the finish line. I was completely exhausted and done for, but the feeling of pride and accomplishment was something I never felt before.
Sick night and day. We can talk about it later, but I need to get back home and get myself to bed.
I managed to get some sleep and food in me, and a few hours later I greeted Timmy across the finish line, who had been out for almost 30 hours. A massive performance and a proper testament to his mental strength. For me, this was the perfect ending to what has been an absolutely insane season on skis, and I loved every second of it. Looking forward to do it all over again in 2026. This is probably then gonna be the last cross-country ski video from 2025, or at least from winter 2025. We'll see what fall is gonna bring, but it's been fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon, I suppose. Peace.